Alright, we're here on Xel'Naga Caverns watching the gold finals between Evraggz, the blue terran, and SEAsaw, the red terran. So Zoya, my friend, what do you think we're going to see this game?
Well, there is going to be probably, since these guys are gold league, there's probably going to be an influctuation of building SCVs and not building SCVs, but for the most part, they will actually be building SCVs for most of the game. There's going to be these little gaps where they forget it because they are gold. And then we're probably going to be seeing a barracks being built on 12, because that is very standard for Terran. Now it looks like the red Terran is walling off his base. Usually you don't want to wall off against Terran because using siege tanks to destroy that wall is very, very problematic whenever you're under a lot of pressure and you just can't seem to break it. You can lose a lot of structures early on.
So what kind of strategies do you generally use on this map? Do you go for expansion drops? Do you go for expansions?
Well, on this map, it really depends on what I see my opponent doing. Right now, I'm not seeing anything really, giving away anything yet. Like I scout really light on this map, but this map is very, very. The inside of your base is huge. Blue flame Hellion drops, and the corner of the base is here and here. Usually most players won't put anything over there to see them, so there's a lot of access points to where you can get a successful drop and do a lot of harassment. So drops are extremely powerful in this kind of situation.
We do have gas going up for both players. We're not going to see anything like Marine fast expand off of one barracks. We're going to be seeing something more standard.
Yep, now both players do have their gas. SEAsaw is choosing to get his guys in gas a little later. But, that's just a little fail from most gold players. Their reaction time is a little bit slower. And right now...
And SEAsaw starting his Marine a little bit later. Thought he wasn't going to build one, but he started it.
I mean, until we start seeing tech, we don't really know what, could be going on here. TVT, the openings are always very similar. Until we see a second gas or a factory go down, we have no idea. Now, we do have SEAsaw getting that second barracks here.
Evraggz is on one barracks now, throwing down a tech lab. And still on one gas, so I assume that means we're not going to be seeing Banshees.
Normally not. Usually when you go Banshees, you just have the barracks pumping out constant Marines here. And we have a second barracks going down for the blue player as well.
And a tech lab going down for SEAsaw as well. So almost identical builds from the two here. And a third barracks is going down now for SEAsaw. So I assume we're going to be seeing a pretty early push, maybe with stim, some sort of timing push.
Now, usually when you have multiple barracks like this, you see Blue Terran and Evraggz getting a third barracks as well. Usually when you have a multiple barracks build, you can usually expect a bioforce to be coming at you at any time. So most players are going to want to get, siege tanks to hold this off, probably bunker up their defenses, do anything that can stop this kind of force. And right now, I would say that both players are mirroring each other pretty hard. We do have SEAsaw being a little bit ahead. He's getting that reactor out, of course. This is a standard 3 racks opening. We're getting the stem, we're getting the marauder. We're probably going to see a second tech lab here. And right now, it's just whoever gets their units out quicker. And right now, since we are not seeing a second add-on on that second barracks from Evraggz, he is going to be behind on this, little force here. Now, we do have an engagement at the Xel'Naga Tower right now. Can't really tell who's on top. I think red's gonna win. No, blue wins. Owned. Now we are getting a reactor on the third barrack for Evraggz, but the reactor for SEAsaw is already done. So right now he's got a huge advantage. Now the problem with being on 3 racks is you pump out units so quickly, so you have to have double supply depot production, which SEAsaw is doing. So he's staying on top right now, and right now I'm gonna say that Evraggz is falling behind, but once he gets this +1 weapon, which we're probably going to be seeing from this engineering bay, if he waits until if the attack waits until this is finished, he could actually be able to hold, even though his production facilities are a little bit slower.
There's definitely an opportunity here where SEAsaw can attack and pretty much crush Evraggz, because Evraggz is invested in this upgrade, and he hasn't gotten anything out of it yet. But if he waits until that upgrade is done, then his advantage is going to be gone.
Yep, and we also see that we are getting a scan from Evraggz and SEAsaw's base. Evraggz is also getting combat shields, so that's another 100 minerals and gas down the drain, and we are getting that 4th barracks here.
Now, Evraggz is actually not producing any Marauders. He's just been building Marines and using that tech lab for upgrades, whereas SEAsaw is getting Marauders. So what do you think about this?
Well, a Marine heavy force is going to lose to an equal food count Marauder Marine force. That's just how it is. Marauders have so much more health, and concussive shells and just the damage they do is, going to overcome the pure Marine build. So we have the players walking past each other right now. I don't know if Evraggz saw that, but we could be seeing a base raid here if Evraggz decides to engage. Now we have the rally point set over here, so if Evraggz can see this and intercept some of these units, it could be really good for him.
No, this actually be bad for Evraggz because his upgrade isn't done yet, so he hasn't gotten anything out of the money that he's investing in it, like I was saying before. And SEAsaw has the larger force right now, so he should be able to crush this.
Yep, and he is crushing this quite well, walking straight into this base. And, yeah, it doesn't look good for Evraggz. He is forced to pull all his SCVs, and, yeah.
Looks like he might be able to clean this up with SCVs, but he's losing a lot, and he's not going to be able to hold on for too much longer.
Income tab shows a huge difference in the units, and right now we have the reinforcements here. Should be seeing that GG from Evraggz very soon.
More units are just flooding in from SEAsaw. He's not going to be able to hold for very much longer.
There's a GG from Evraggz, and there we go. SEAsaw using his add-ons to his advantage and charging in there. +1 weapon and plus combat shields were disadvantaged for Evraggz, and that's the end of that game.